Let's call that your warm-up.
Watch your
Nice shooting!
Whoa, 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 under the boardwalk. What's up, what's up, what's up? Alright, I'm gonna lead off from my last video and start talking about whenever I got into group population and some stories, about that first year. Basically, I'm gonna try to get into, all the way to graduation in this video. Alright, and I'm gonna try to do it without making this, big old long video. I don't wanna bore you. Alright, so check it out. I went from orientation to my first dorm. Dorms in the John Core facility, or at the John Core facility that I was in, you had all boy or all male, you had an all female, or you had co-eds. Alright, those are three. And then you had also one dorm that was an honor dorm, and it was a co-ed dorm. So check it. I went into a co-ed dorm, my first dorm. It wasn't honor, but it was just a co-ed dorm. And I can't remember when they allowed me to bring my trash in so, I can get unpacked. But I don't remember, if it was like that evening or during the day. But I do know it was on a Friday because we had a dorm meeting that night and all the greenhorns had to, introduce themselves, because in the dorm meeting, we always ask, is there any newbies in the dorm at that time? If you are new, stand up, be recognized, introduce yourself. So, whenever I walked in there, I recognized a couple of faces from, walking back and forth from orientation to, like meals or in the cafeteria or any other place around the facility that I had been. And it was a bunch of faces that I didn't know. But I'm not the nervous type. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable wherever I go. So, checked out the females and seen some hotties. And checked out the niggas and the guys. And, see that they were checking me out too. Both the females and the guys. Like I said, every day, you get measured up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's taking notes. So, I got my bunk and found out who the guy was that slept in the bunk on top of me. And, our lockers were next to each other. And he gave me some tips, about the bunks. And I remember he was a cat from New Orleans, from Louisiana. Yeah, from Louisiana. I forget where he was from. I think he was New Orleans. But he was like, gotta have that baby porter. Gotta have that baby porter, baby. Gotta have a baby porter. Put the baby porter on the sheets and you sleep real good. I was just like, I can't do the accent, so I'm gonna stop. But yeah, he was a pretty nigga. You know what I mean? A real prissy. Not gonna say prissy, but he was a pretty nigga. He liked to look good. You know what I mean? And he was the type of dude that he'd take a shower, you know, before anybody else, and you could basically go to sleep. Him and this other dude. He was from out of Houston. The other dude was from out of Houston. And both of them, you know, they basically were on their way out. I mean, you know, like they had like 3, 4, 5, 6 months to go, something like that. So, you know, they had already been there and already, you know, been there, done that, and they was on the cool and mellow tip. And you never see them outside of the door. You know what I'm saying? They go to train, go back in the dorm, and they chill. You know what I mean? They also have females. So these two niggas here, they were like real possessive over their females. You know what I mean? They'd argue, they get into it, you know what I'm saying? And the females, we go back to the female side of the dorm crying. But then, you know, as soon as they want their female next to their side, they'll send the female over to the female side and have them tell their girl to come back out and chill with them until they was ready to go to bed type thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, I learned some things from both of them as far as the relationship stuff goes and the do's and don'ts. So it's like something that I could vicariously go through without actually going through it. But anyway, our lockers, you know, it was like a 2-door locker. You had an area where you could hang your stuff up in. You had like below that, you had like 2 drawers that you could put your stuff in, and it was like a little slot, you know, for extra space. And I think not all the lockers had mirrors in it, but some of them did. So that first night was cool. You know what I mean? After we did before we did our dorm meeting, you know, not we all, but a lot of people went to the cafeteria to eat and, you know, hang out around the facility. And, you know, I walked around and I chilled, seen some different faces, seen a lot of different faces. I'm not going to play it down. Seen a lot of new faces. So whenever I got back to the dorm, you know, it was almost time for dorm meeting. And during the dorm meeting, it was like, you know, I stood up, got recognized, introduced myself. After the dorm meeting, we did our weekly clean. You know, everybody went to their assigned places, whether it was in the laundry room, whether it was the bathrooms. And in the bathrooms, you had 2 different areas. You know, you had the area where you had the toilets, the stalls, and then you had the shower area. And then, you know, if you weren't in those 3 areas, then you would be cleaning up the bay, you know, where we slept. And if you wasn't there, then you'd probably be cleaning up outside the dorm, making sure all the cigarette butts are picked up in the flower areas where we're straightened up. Just detail, you know what I'm saying? Keep everything cleaned up on the outside and the inside. And then the RA had pulled me to the side and, you know, gave me some more rules and do's and don'ts. And got a little care package, which was, you know, like soap powder, some hygiene stuff, and all that. And got introduced to the dorm leaders. And the dorm leaders, they're from student government. And that's when I got introduced to student government, because I didn't know, you know, about student government. Never heard of it. But, you know, you had the mayor of the dorm, you had the vice president or whatever the hell, and then you had, you know, a couple secretaries. And, you know, every week, every Thursday, they would go, not every Thursday, but I would say like once or twice a month, student government got together with the facility heads, and they all discussed matters of the facility and what the people wanted. And at dorm meetings, they would, tell us whatever information they got from the student government meetings. So I got introduced to those cats, and after we cleaned up the dorm, we had a good 2, 3, 4 hours, basically till like 10 or 11 o'clock to chill, watch movies, hang out outside, and then about 10, 11 o'clock, we come in and go to bed, that type of thing. Wait a minute. No. We didn't get to go outside unless we smoked cigarettes. Yeah, if you smoked, you got to go out and smoke. But other than that, and you couldn't go far. Other than that, you stayed up and watching movies or did whatever you wanted to do around your bunk. So that was cool. That was a co-ed dorm. Next to my dorm was an all-male dorm, and on the other side of my dorm was, all-female dorm. It was like three dorms in this section, and that's the way it was around the facility. It was quartered off, and it'd be 3 dorms per section. Like there might be three all male dorms, or might be 3 all male females, or split up like where I was. Had a co-ed and a male and a female. There was an all female dorm over by the cafeteria, and those females over there, man, you talk about they were like damn near they acted like they was untouchable type females. You know what I mean? Like they were hard to get type females. Other co-ed dorm females, they were cool. Other, all female dorms, they were cool too. But the ones over by the cafeteria, man, it was like high maintenance. Anyway, let me get back to my notes real quick. Hold on. Stuff that I wanted to talk about other than that first dorm. There's cliques. People, that click up, they get together. Most of the time, it's people that come from the same city. And where I went, it was like, the southern states. They came, that was in that region. Like, cats from Louisiana, Memphis, Tennessee. Well, from Tennessee, from Kentucky, from Texas, from Arkansas, from Oklahoma, and we all just meshed up. Oh yeah, from Mexico. From New Mexico. Wait a minute, it was something like that. But it was like you had your Mexicans, and then you had your Latin cats who weren't Mexicans. I'm talking about full-blooded Mexicans, and then you had your other Spanish cats who wasn't full-blooded Mexicans, and you can't get them too mixed up because they'll get pissed off. And you had your brown folks, your brown Americans, and then you had your Caucasians, and then you had some Latin cats. I already said that some Italian cats. No, wasn't any Italian cats. Fuck it, white, black, Mexican, and Spanish. All right, I was trying to be politically correct. You had some homosexuals, and people clicked up because there was also gangbangers there too, and gangbangers from out of all those different cities and states. So everybody clicked up, and you had to be careful who you were with, because who you clicked up with, who you hung around, because birds of a feather fly together, and people see you with them, they gonna automatically take your affiliation and make their own opinion, and next thing you know, you might get you might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Alright, so the gazebos were the spots where you find those cliques. And me, I like being around anyone that I want to be around. I don't sit back and I don't give the appearance that I'm just gonna stick around with this person or this clique or that clique. You know what I'm saying? I didn't click up with anybody. You know, I floated around. And I got respected for that. I didn't go clique to clique talking about other cliques. I didn't snitch. I didn't, I wasn't them foul people who just couldn't get the respect of floating around. Some people got their ass whooped, man. I'm serious. It's something you had to look out for. There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of ass whoopings. You know what I'm saying? There are the females. There's dudes that get obsessive over the females, whether they was ex-boyfriends or whether they had a crush on somebody. So you never know unless you get around and find out. And that's what I was about. I was like, yo, I want to find out about the people of this facility because I don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's one of the main reasons why I floated around. And I had to let people know that, yo, just because you see me over here with this person doesn't mean that you're going to get information out of me about that person. Or it doesn't mean that I'm going to sit back and backstab that person. So you got to be fucked up if you think that I'm going to be that dude that, you know what I'm saying, is just foul like that. So anyway, I remember the store. Boy, when you go over to the store and you go spend your money, you know what I'm saying, you had a lot of people that did not have money and they, bum cigarettes from you. You know what I mean? Ask you for some chips, ask you for some candy, some different things like that. And they'll hit you back a little later. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you got paid. The folks that you couldn't trust, other people let you know about them. You know what I'm saying? And there's people got their ass whooped over there too. You know what I'm saying? For fucking with people's money. There's long lines. I remember that. And you can go during your lunch break, or you can go anytime. Not anytime. During the store hours after trade. So being around there was a nice little place to hang out. Different cliques over there too. We took our pictures over there. There was a cameraman, a dude that we called a cameraman, and he would take all the pictures. You know what I'm saying? And it reminded me of stories that I heard about people in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Penitentiary stories. How you had different people with different hustles. And it was only a few people that you could trust with those different hustles. So it was like that, if you could picture that. But I like being around the store. You know what I'm saying? The store was like right in the center of the facility. So everybody came to that one store. Period. Next to the store was the store was in between the movie theater and the basketball gym. So, I mean, it was a great place to be. Now, the movie theater, you know what I mean, they played a lot of reruns. And whenever they came out with new shit, best believe the place was packed. It's like, I remember when Waiting to Excel came out. I was there. I was at Job Corps when Waiting to Excel came out. And everybody was wanting to see that joint. And it took about maybe a good 2-3 weeks before I could even see the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just, no, not 2-3 weeks. Maybe a week. Because it was full. You know what I'm saying? Each time you go in there, it was full. With no place to sit. It was uncomfortable. And then on top of that, with it being full, got a lot of people that talk through the show. You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, man, I'd rather come whenever there's not a lot of people there. So that's why it took me so long, because I wanted to go when there wasn't a lot of people in there. So of course, that means that I had to go whenever the interest of the movie faded away. So anyway, and had to catch it before they put up another movie. So anyway, the theater was a place to chill. Store was a place to chill. The basketball gym was a place to chill. You have to be careful in there too. Because, you know what I'm saying? Even in the basketball clique, there was people that you had to watch your back for. Because, I mean, everybody came from the streets. You know what I'm saying? You had people that were supposed to, or that had an option of either going to jail or going to Job Corps. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever laws they broke out on the street, you know what I mean, they brought it to Job Corps. Whatever type of attitude they had in the street, they brought it to Job Corps. You know what I mean? So you always had to watch your back. You know what I'm saying? So I remember how long it took a long time to get your mail. Because you can go at lunchtime, or you had like an hour or two to get to the mail, to the post office after your train was over. They didn't stay open long each day. And so, you know, you had to get there and try to get in line and get your mail. Most times you only had 15 minutes to get your mail. So you rush over there as soon as you could. You know, I had met like 2 or 3 females while I was there. And it was alright. It was alright. I met one female whose parents wanted me to really be with their girl. You know, she was a daddy's little girl type chick. And her dad was like, if you and my baby did your whole culinary art thing, when y'all graduate, come down to the town, I have a restaurant put up for y'all so quick. But boy, you just gotta make sure you make my daughter happy. And I was just like, woo, yes sir. It was another female that I was interested in. And she looked like Winona Ryder. I swear she looked like Winona Ryder. Cute little doll face. You know, Caucasian chick. There's this other female. She was Hispanic. And she was cool and everything. But she was bi. And while I was trying to talk to her, she was interested in the female too. So I was just like, man, whatever, yo. I'm not getting played. And then there was another female. She was a light-skinned chick. She had a lazy eye. She was cute. She was in this all-female dorm, and it was one of those things where I was interested in 2 or 3 other females from her same dorm. So I was like, man, talking to her was putting salt in my game. Because the other females in the dorm looked at her like she was a baby girl. So I was just like, man, she's putting salt in my game, man. Just fucking shit up. Whenever I was in the first dorm, there was this one female who had a guy that she used to fight with, and she was fine, man. And he left. He ended up getting kicked out because of one of the fights they had, and she wouldn't come out of the female's door, except for to go to trade, because you know he blackened their eye, popped their mouth. And when she finally got healed up, she came out and she was hot, man. When I'm talking about hot, I'm talking about she was hot and horny. And I remember me and her ended up trying to get it in behind this building. And she wouldn't take her drawers off, man. And I was just like, man, this ain't working, because she was pulling her drawers to the side, pulling the panties to the side, and I'm trying to get in where I fit in, and I was just like, yo, this is not working, yo. I'm like, I got a little something, but it just wasn't worth it, you know what I mean? And then the whole paranoia of somebody walking around the corner is like, it wasn't worth it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't good. It felt good to be in, you know what I'm saying? It felt good to have that under my belt, as far as saying, yeah, I got some. But it wasn't worth it, you know what I mean? Just wasn't worth it. It was trash. But anyway, after word got out that I hit the guts, things changed. You know what I'm saying? As far as street cred go, things changed. And like I say, everybody take notes. Everybody measures you up. and it was cool. You know what I mean? So relationships, for me, it was alright. You know what I'm saying? I met one female that I kept in contact with, after I left. It was two, but, my main squeeze, I kept in contact with her until, some time after Job Corps. I'm not trying to tell my whole life, but me and her, we got real close. So anyway, let me scroll down this page. Alright, I want to talk about security on the campus. The security on the campus sucked. I mean, it's like they rode around just so that you see that they're riding around. After I finished my drug waiver program, I was smoking again. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where you'd be a little paranoid, but you knew that I don't know, just a piece of confidence or just a piece of I don't give a fuck would be like, I see him, but they don't know whether I'm smoking a cigarette or Black a Mile or some weed. They don't know, so they just have to pop up on you and smell it and catch you. So it's just one of those things where I'd see him, but you know what I'm saying, it was like whatever. Plus, I wasn't the types that they came and just fucked with, you know what I'm saying, just on GP, general purposes. You know what I mean? Whenever they see me, I give them respect of saying, yeah, you are security here, and I ain't gonna be right in your face with my bullshit. And they give you my respect too, as far as you ain't went out here, being like some of these other characters and causing trouble. You know what I mean? They didn't have to worry about me causing trouble or getting into some bullshit. So that's where the line was drawn. But man, they would fuck with people. They bullied people, other Job Corps students. They bullied them. You know what I'm saying? They raped some of the females. They protected some of the females too. You know what I'm saying? They protected some of the students that were there from other, gang members and stuff like that. Just a little. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know what I'm saying, if somebody wanted to get at you, they get at you. You know what I mean? It's the rules of the streets. So, whenever security rolled by, they was just a presence. You know what I mean? They didn't really mean shit to me. But they bothered people whenever they got the chance. They just like the police, man. They ain't shit. Majority of them, they just ain't shit. Now, I went to a facility in Texas, and that place was like, the summertime was hot, the wintertime was cold, and I'm talking about cold. And when I'm talking about heat, I'm talking about heat, man. Heat. It was hot. During the springtime, you got your rain, and so it was crazy, man. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was all right. I remember later on, whenever I was in my advanced culinary, because I chose to go into culinary. My first elective was maintenance. So whenever I got out of orientation and went to my first dorm, I was going back and forth to the maintenance area. Maintenance is like, if you live in an apartment or if you rent a place, then the person who comes and fixes your place will be the maintenance man. If you can picture that, if you understand what I'm saying, then that's what I went in for. And what I liked about that was because the maintenance man, they learned stuff. Basically, they learned how to build a house from the structure up. They learned plumbing, the electrical parts, the framework, the carpentry, the electrician, the electricity, the plumbing. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, basically you learn how to build a house from the structure up. And that's what I liked about that place. I was like, man, if I graduated from this and I wanted a job, you know what I'm saying? I can get a job in, electrician's field, carpentry, or, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to go build on buildings and I got with a contractor, I would have a good trade under my belt. That's what I was thinking if I was going to stay in it long term. But, shit, man, it was summertime. And it was hot. My trade instructor had us out in this building doing different odd stuff, and I was just like, man, it's too hot, man. And we were back where the warehouse trade was, you know what I'm saying, construction trade was, and welding and all that. So we was like way out in the boonies, and I was like, man, just to get some water, you had to go like to 2 or 3 warehouses over. I was like, man, this is crazy. I was like, if it's like this in real life, fuck that. I ain't doing it. Even though my imagination, I could picture that it wouldn't be that hard, but I was like, to have any taste of it wasn't for me. So I went into culinary because I know that wherever you cook, you gotta have air conditioning in the wintertime. Wherever you cook, it's gonna have heat. It's gonna be, you have air conditioning during the summertime, and when it's cold in the winter, you're gonna have heat because you're cooking. So anyway, I eventually got it transferred over to culinary arts, and I went through basics, and going through basics was fun. You know what I mean? Also had to go half a day because of I was getting my GED, and let me check my notes to find out where I'm at. I was talking about security, and I was talking about weather. All right, so the weather. Whenever I was down to basics, I had this routine where at breakfast, I go and I make some peanut butter jelly sandwiches for my lunch. No. When I was in advanced, that's what I did, cause I got tired of the food, so I didn't usually go to lunch. So what I would do is at breakfast, I eat breakfast, and I'd make a couple peanut butter jelly sandwiches, stick them in my coat or whatever, and I take that and eat that for lunch. But during basics, what I'm trying to say is after I ate in the wintertime when it was cold, you gotta have some place to go when you chill. You know what I'm saying, after lunch or during lunch. And so my place was, I would go back to my basics building, and I wrap up and I go to sleep. Now, this is the thing, this is my ritual. You weren't allowed to do this, but I got away with it. I would take my blanket and wrap it up around my waist, pull it over my head like a hoodie, and put my coat on over it. And whenever I was around people, like going to the cafeteria or whatever, because the people in the cafeteria wouldn't allow you to have your blanket with you either. And I would tuck it back in my coat, and I just looked like I had a fat ass coat. But after I would eat, I would wrap up in that blanket, just leave it into my coat. I'd tuck into my coat, look like a damn turtle, and I would pull the blanket out from the bottom, to cover up my legs and my waist area. And I'll pull it over my head, and I tuck my arms in my coat, and I'd sleep like that during the lunch hours. And a couple people tried to get away with it, but they wasn't able to. It was only me and a few people, as the story went, because people talk, and they'd be like, man, I seen somebody else do what you do, and they couldn't get away with it. That type of thing. Or I seen somebody else like that way over in the warehouse area. That type of chat. So anyway, during the summertime, like I said, it get hot. And whenever I was in advanced cooking, we were allowed to, there was this golf course across the street from my facility, and they were doing some reconstruction, so they wanted some advanced students to come over and cook for them. You know what I'm saying? While they were understaffed, and I was able to go there. Whenever I was able to go there, I went to their gift shop and got this nice big umbrella. Well, I went back to the facility and I started walking with that umbrella. So I walk under the shade. Man, I would say within a week after I started using my umbrella, you see everybody, not everybody, but you see a lot of people with umbrellas. So it was like I brought in three trends. One, whenever I came in, I smoked Black and Milds. I didn't smoke cigarettes. Not unless I ran out of Black and Milds. Or not unless I was trying to be frugal. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep my Black and Milds because I couldn't, just order some or have somebody get them. And I wasn't going off base yet. So anyway, Black and Milds is something I introduced because people would be like, let me hit your swisher. I'm like, this ain't a swisher. And I walk off, my arrogant ass. I was real arrogant about shit. And I walk away. Cause I'm like, you ain't hit my shit. Every now and then I'll let somebody hit it. You know what I'm saying? They be like, what is this? What is this? This ain't a swisher. What is this? This ain't, you know what I'm saying? The whatever. Those other cigars that you roll blunts out of, things like that. And then whenever I started smoking weed, again, you know what I'm saying, those Black and Milds, I had to keep them because you can stuff a Black and Mild without it looking, all broken up like a regular blunt. You know what I mean? You just twist it in your hands to make the tobacco fall out. Alright, so another trend setting thing that I did was okay, it was a cigar. Oh yeah, it was that that blanket that was wrapped up in my coat during the wintertime. A few folks that copied that. And then like the summer before I graduated, there's a golf course across the way that I was talking about earlier, and when they asked for the advanced culinary arts students to come over, I was like the first one. I was literally the first one over there, and I went and got an umbrella, and I mentioned this earlier. We got that umbrella and was opening it up and walking through the campus with it. You know what I'm saying? To give myself some shade. And the thing about it was, okay, like when you're walking from the store to chow hall, to the cafeteria, there's like one sidewalk, and usually people are walking one direction or another, but like I say, I had a little bit of an arrogance about me, and I walked in between everybody. Now, I wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? I wasn't the only one. But it was a way of getting attention. Yeah, I liked it. Even though it's like I was real quiet when I was at Job Corps. You know what I mean? I only talked with a few people, and whenever I'm walking around, you know what I mean? I usually walk by myself. So, it's one of them things where it's like when you're in the group walking, you usually talk with folks. So as far as getting attention goes, you're sharing attention with other people. But when you're walking by yourself and you're quiet, it gives you a certain persona, a certain type of appeal, a certain type of people look at you in a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Period. So anyway, those three things right there. Let me see. Was there anything else that I did that was trend setting? Nah, I think that was it. But anyway, let me get back to this checklist of things I wanted to talk about. Um, I had I had stayed in that dorm after from orientation. Then I went to the co-ed dorm, and they stayed open for like maybe 3 months, about 3, 4, maybe 5 months, and they ended up closing it down. And they separated. They divided us all up into other dorms. And no, okay, yeah. It was something like that, 3, 4, 5 months. Now, here's the crazy thing. Um, while I was in that dorm, while I was in the dorm, the mayor of the dorm had graduated, and they needed someone else to represent the dorm. Now, I'm new there, but the RA asked me to be the replacement mayor. I didn't want to do it. Nobody else wanted to do it. I don't know how many other people the RA went to and asked before me, but for me to be new at Job Corps, period, you know what I'm saying? I kind of felt a good way about that. Because I'm like, the RA saw something in me, you know what I'm saying, enough to ask me out of all the older cats that was there, that had been there before me. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? I still pat myself on the back about that. But I became the mayor, the replacement mayor of the dorm. And started going to the student government meetings and functions. Now, whenever they closed our dorm down and divided us up, they moved me and a few other people over to the honor dorm on the hilltop. And of course, I lost the title of being mayor because you already had a mayor there. But it turns out that whenever that mayor had moved, I graduated, I got what do you call elected to be the mayor at that dorm. And it was like the people from my old dorm is the ones that pointed me out, along with just a few of the people from the new dorm. I had to run for the election in this one because the people from the new dorm had chose a person, but I won it. I won that election. And it was cool, man. It was real cool. But student government, it was an experience as well. Yeah, I mean, I fell asleep on a couple of meetings because the days were long. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you do your academics, like going to your GED classes, and then you're dealing with the heat and all that kind of good stuff, the weather, and then you go to your trade, and it's like after you've been there for a while and you're ready to go, you know what I'm saying? It just makes the days long, especially when you're dealing with folks you don't want to be around no more. You know what I mean? I was in student government around the time when I was ready to go home because I was just like, yo, man, I've been here too long. You know what I mean? It's like I'm the type of person that once I go somewhere, I'm cool for a while, but then I want to go and move somewhere else and go somewhere else, be around other people. So I was used to moving around a lot, especially, after a year. You know what I mean? That's how my childhood was. You know what I'm saying? Basically, live somewhere for about a year or so, and then you end up getting moved to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I did my job as a mayor. I did that. Did it well. My roommates whenever I moved to the honor dorm, were Mexican, and they kind of looked at me like, no. The first room I moved in was, we were mixed. It was like one white dude and maybe two white dudes. No, it was like one white dude and three black dudes, something like that. And then we ended up having to reorganize our not reorganize, but anyway, people got moved around to different rooms, and I ended up in a room with three Mexicans, and they looked at me kind of like, you dirty black person, don't you try to steal our shit. Because it was kind of like, whenever they go and get their snacks, I catch them looking at me while I'm looking at them. You know what I'm saying? They hurry up and close their drawer, their snack drawer, and lock it up. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, went through that little transition, and then they started offering me shit. You know what I'm saying? Offering me snacks, especially whenever I was bringing home food from advanced culinary arts, because in advanced culinary arts, we cook so much, especially for different benefits. I mean, not benefits, but we call it functions. Because the advanced culinary arts students, they cooked whenever there was meetings. Like the facility heads will come and they have a meeting with other facility heads. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Somebody else could explain that better. But the advanced culinary arts students would cook and serve for those type of meetings. Whether it's anyway. So whenever we cooked big, I bring food home to the dorm and I give some to my roommates. You know what I'm saying? I just automatically did that. And they started asking me for different requests. Like, there was like, next time you guys cook this type of meal or something like that, hook me up. You know what I mean? I was like, I can do that. I'll try. And so, we ate good. Me and my roommates, we ate good. Man, we ate good. Let's see. I for some reason I made a friend. He was a gay Mexican dude, and we met whenever we was doing our weekly counseling, because part of student government is going in there and doing counseling with the other residents at your dorm. And so I met this dude while he was going through depression because of his boyfriend, long distance relationship. And it was like, once he started feeling better, he looked at me like a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that he appreciated for being there in his life. You know what I mean? And so he was cool as hell, man. He was cool as hell. You talking about somebody having your back. Dude had my back like it wasn't nothing. There was ever an argument, there was ever some type of confrontation, he had my back almost like if he was my woman. Or my sister. There we go. Almost like if he was my sister. You know what I'm saying? And it was a trip. It was fun. And it was funny. You know what I'm saying? Having him around. I think I graduated, but whenever he'd leave and go on different, weekends and stuff like that, the dorm would be kind of quiet, more quiet than usually, like it usually would be. One of the things I had to remember whenever I got the Job Corps was, when it comes down to the street life, you got to keep your home life divided. You know what I'm saying? Separated from what was going on in the streets. And that's how it was at Job Corps. I came in with a girlfriend. Well, not with a girlfriend, but I had a girlfriend at home. And, we kept in touch over over the phone and things like that. And as a matter of fact, while I was waiting for Job Corps to say I was approved or not, that's when I met her. And we had dated like about 3 months before I got accepted, 3 or 4 months before I got accepted to Job Corps, and she had asked me to go to Atlanta with her. And I was like, the fuck am I gonna do in Atlanta? I'm gonna cook. You know what I'm saying? I'm cooking at a fast food restaurant. When am I gonna go there and go to Atlanta and cook at a fast food restaurant? I'm trying to go to Job Corps so I can get a trade. You know what I mean? And she was giving me all kind of optimistic thoughts about going to Atlanta and letting me know that that black folks, especially cooks, could do well in Atlanta. And the timing was just off. You know what I'm saying? I got accepted before she was even ready financially to move to Atlanta. So we kept in touch on the phone while I was at Job Corps, but to everybody else, I was single. They didn't know anything about her because I didn't let it be known. And it was cool when other people was in situations with their relationships. Being a mayor, I still couldn't snitch. You know what I'm saying? I still couldn't. Whenever someone was getting counseled and they was cheating on somebody else and things like that, I still couldn't snitch. You know what I mean? So I had to learn how to be tactful about conversations with people about, in their situations. Especially when I had to confront someone else that, that whoever I was counseling was talking to in order to ease the tension. So student government was cool. It was real cool. And I liked, being in advanced culinary arts because we used to go to the cafeteria and help them prep up their meals. As far as, on the job experience type of shit. So not only was I tired of the menu at Job Corps because I had been there for so long, but when I had to go cook it, I was really through. I was like, man, this is crazy. But I had a certain appreciation for it because I was like, I know that we're supposed to follow the recipe, but I also know that I don't like the recipe because, I got burnt out on it and I was wanting a new taste. So I was like tinkering with the recipe here and there to give it a different taste. And then I go out on the line and watch people while they ate. And, I see some people be like, they'll give me a couple thumbs up here and there. Just exaggerating. You know what I'm saying? They could have been looking at somebody else, but I took the credit. Anyway, I liked going to the cafeteria because the cafeteria was a cool place to meet females, for one. Also, it's like when you're at Job Corps, it is a big old, it's on the tip of my tongue, but you look good in your clothes. So other people can see you looking good in your clothes. You know what I mean? So when you look good, other people talk about you in a good way, and they, they gossip about you, things like that. So I like going to the cafeteria looking sharp. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing about Job Corps. You don't have a lot of clothes because you only have so much room to keep them in. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get creative with your clothes. You got to coordinate. You know what I mean? And you got to make your shit look good, even though you ain't got much. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I like going to the cafeteria. Now the food, like I say, I got tired of it, but it wasn't really that damn bad. You just get tired of eating the same old stuff over and over, and you got to be creative. And when you get a plate, mix in, your salsa with your chili, or just eat your chili separate. I mean, it's just, you just got to find different ways of eating your meals. That's another reason why I stopped eating lunch and I would make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the mornings, and then I just go hang out somewhere and eat my peanut butter jelly sandwiches at lunch. But anyway, on Fridays we have our dorm meetings, and that's when we would get our laundry soap, and you would get like 2 small boxes, and it's supposed to last you. You know what I'm saying, during that week. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Ah, man, what I'm trying to think of, I got 2 thoughts in mind. It's like during mail call, whenever you get your mail. I was trying to remember whether or not we got our soap during that time. It was either during mail call or dorm meetings. It's one of the 2. I can't remember. But anyway, I liked the laundry room. The laundry room was a real quiet place. You know what I'm saying? When you hear your clothes being dried, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the belt buckles make a little tink, like a little tapping sound. And when you hear it, going up and down. I don't know. You just if you're watching this video, go to a laundry room when it's real quiet and listen to the clothes dry. I like writing poetry. I like reading sometimes. So it was a good place to keep my focus. And also during the winter time, you stay warm. There's extra warmth in the laundry room. So anyway, I remember being in the dorm, and we had to do our head counts. Like every night, you gotta stop, watching TV, just to go to your room, so we can do a head count. And as mayor, I used to help out with that. And whenever I wasn't a mayor, I still got to help out with that for some reason, because I say some reason, but the RAs still trusted my opinion, still trusted, my thoughts about what was going on inside the dorm, even after I was the mayor. And I was the mayor twice. That's how long I was at that honor dorm. So anyway, head count was something that we did that was pretty important. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that everybody was in their rooms and stuff like that. It is crazy because the days when somebody's not going to be there because they were like having sex and they wasn't going to make it back to the dorm on time. And I know that for a fact because I used to catch people having sex or in the sexual areas. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, you need to hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we about to do a head count pretty soon. They're like, I know, man. Or the females would be like, I know, man. And it's a trip because, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you don't snitch. But at the same time, it's like you get to the dorm before them and you go and you find their roommate and be like, so-and-so is going to be late. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they come and do a head count, hook them up. You don't tell why they going to be late or nothing like that. You just tell they're going to be late. And, kind of hook them up in some kind of way. But it was always cool, man. I like personal time. You know what I'm saying? After we did head counts. And, in between trade and head count. And then after head count and time to go to bed. Those are always some cool times. At that time I smoked cigarettes or, Black and Milds and weed. And I drank. And it was always time to be by myself, you know what I'm saying? Being around that Texas sunset, man, it was something special about that. You know what I mean? And like I say, I like being to myself. So it got to a point where, like I say, I was there for so long. Security, they recognized me, and they recognized the way I like to move. They recognized the way I like to get down. As far as being to myself and being in places where most people wouldn't be. They wouldn't harass me, you know what I'm saying? Even if they see me smoking something, they wouldn't come to see what it was, you know what I mean? Or whether I was drinking something, they wouldn't harass me to come see what it was. So I used to keep my buzz going, I used to keep my buzz on pretty damn freely. And so that private time was real comfortable. And whenever I was with a female, it was really nice. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It was something about that personal time that was really important. It's a balance to, your trade and balance to everything else you got to do around everybody else. When you're to yourself, you can just do things and be comfortable. You know what I mean? It's just something about that. I like being a loner / social butterfly. I mean, I just like that. It's comfortable. We had a swimming pool, and they would only open it up every now and then. They usually kept it closed because you open up a swimming pool around ghetto ass people, and they gonna act a fool. You know what I'm saying? Running, pushing each other, and next thing you know, somebody's head gets popped open. And then, especially when you got gang members, you know what I'm saying? And everybody wouldn't be territorial. So we only got to use the swimming pool like every now and then. As a matter of fact, the swimming pool was only open 2 or 3 times for the whole time that I was there. But we had a swimming pool there. Our Friday dances, only went to a few of them. I probably went to like 6 or 7 of the Friday dances the whole time that I was there. And I was there for close to 2 years. And the reason why I was there close to 2 years is that by the time I was at the end of my trade, I was ready to graduate. I was in culinary arts. So with culinary arts, when you graduate, you get submitted to go to Treasure Island. Treasure Island was a cooking school over in San Francisco. So while I was waiting for that to open up, time was ticking. And I was, man, that was the roughest time that I had a Job Corps, that I was ready to go badly. But anyway, I like going off campus. I'm not a religious person. I hadn't been a religious person for a long, long time. I mean, anyway, it's like I took the advantage of Sundays to go to church just to walk around. I get off the bus and I walk around the neighborhoods until it's time to go get back on the bus. Smoke a couple cigarettes, listen to some music. Or I find a convenience store, like a gas station, or I go to the store, to like a grocery store, and buy some stuff. Every now and then I bumped into the people who actually had a weekend pass, and they keep their mouth shut about seeing me. You know what I'm saying? Because once you go off campus, like for church, you're supposed to actually go to church. You know what I mean? And let's see here. The weekend passes. It's like people will go to the nearest hotel or the nearest motel and have a nice little get together, and folks from campus from the facility will hop on the railroad tracks and take a nice long ass walk to go to these parties and get-togethers. You know what I mean? And sneak back on the facility. And it's like, yo, if you got away, you got away with it. You know what I'm saying? If you got caught, you got caught. Whatever. You try to have as much fun as you could. I never went to a party, hotel party. I just remember people coming back and talking about it and having a good time. I like going to the pool hall because it's like I got to sharpen up my skills playing pool, and there was some people I could beat, some people I couldn't beat, but it was also a good place to catch females and check them out. I remember I was talking to this one female who was Creole, and nobody else really wanted to fuck with her because they kept saying that she was putting voodoo hexes on people, on her ex-boyfriends. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because the stories that they was talking about these dudes who, said something that would happen to them, and they blame it on her. but she was fine. Ooh, she looked good. She looked like a white girl, but she was Creole. Man, she was fine. And I was trying to get in them draws, man. I was really trying to get in them draws, but I don't know, she wouldn't let me. But I met her at the pool hall. That's what made me, have a memory of her. But I remember going to the pool hall whenever I was in orientation, and it was a pretty long walk, and I liked going there just because of the walk. But I liked going to that pool hall. It was something about it that reminded me of being on the streets, and especially whenever I spent some time in New York. I don't know, it was just something about it that I liked. I liked going to the movie theater. The movie theater looked like a church. You know what I'm saying? And there was something about going there that I don't know, man. It was something about it. It was so much of a thing in my life that I ended up having dreams about it, years after I had graduated. And I don't know. It was just something about it. Wait a minute, hold on. I'll eat those sandwiches here in a minute, okay? Okay. And so, the holidays. One thing that I liked about the holidays was I didn't get to leave the campus, but a lot of people did. And they usually moved everybody to, like we only had enough people there to fill up maybe 2 or 3 dorms. So they consolidated everybody into those 2 or 3 dorms. And, going to the cafeteria, you know what I'm saying? It's like, with everybody being gone, you got to get in line, and, the lines wasn't long, and, you got to really take your time, and the leisure time was great. You know what I'm saying? Being on the campus without so many people, it was real comfortable. But for me, who liked to play basketball, it got boring because there was hardly anybody there to play basketball with. And then when it came down to smoking, whenever I didn't have no trees, wasn't nobody there without, with trees. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it is good and bad moments. But spend time with the females, that was on point. Because of the females that was there, they still got horny, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So but like during that 2 week, yeah, it's enough to make me stutter. So anyway, the holidays was cool. Except for you had some people who got homesick, and they kind of made it feel awkward because they was going through the blues and you weren't trying to hear their shit. I remember there was talks about the warehouses over where people did their welding courses, the welding classes, and other mechanic, like the advanced mechanics classes. Over in those warehouses, they was talking about it was being haunted, or it had been haunted for years because of, a couple people who had died back there, and, like throughout, I don't know, years. The place was old, you know what I'm saying? It was an old Air Force base. So they used to talk about the place being haunted. And I remember one time I was in my dorm, and this is when I was in honor dorm, so I was at the Hilltop. And I had this real scary feeling that there was a spirit behind me in my room. Man, I ran out that room so damn fast. It's kind of like somebody farted and I had to run out and let it air out. You know what I mean? I ran out that room for a hot minute and stayed gone for a hot minute. I ran out of the room quickly and stayed gone for a hot minute. And I don't know, it was funny. The reason why I mentioned the ghost because, I'm talking about the facility. I'm talking about as much as I can to let people know that when you go to Job Corps, you know what I'm saying, there's so many things you can tap your attention into to take away the tension of being there. You can actually have fun there. Let's see. Drugs and alcohol. Um, Drugs and alcohol. I don't know. It's just it goes along with the street life. You know what I mean? As long as you got folks who hold on to the street life, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna always have some drugs around or something to get you high, or some drink or something to give you a buzz. So it is what it is. It comes with the territory. You know, you either fuck with it or you don't. But still, it's the rule of don't snitch. If you get caught with it, you know what I mean? Don't fuck it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple people there that fucked it up for other people, and it sucked. I wish that Kendrick Lamar song was out then as well. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of bitches, male or female, that just fucked it up for other people. It was crazy, man. And when you're in a stressful place like Job Corps, you know, when it can be stressful, at the times that it is stressful, you know what I mean? You want your shit. Because it's like your antidote. It's like your medication. You know what I mean? But then, you know, like I say, other people just fuck it up. They either get drunk and, you know what I'm saying, get the place locked down to where other people can't go off campus to get, you know what I'm saying, the shit that we want, the shit that we need to get our buzz on. So, you know, when it came down to the drugs and alcohol, you know what I mean, it's like, yo, it is what it is. It's going to be there. And it would suck without it. Job Corps would really suck if it was just drug-free. You know what I mean? If there was no bootleggers or there was no mules, you know what I'm saying, bringing the shit in and out, or bringing the shit in, it would suck. Let's see. You know, along with my trade and my GED, I needed to get my driver's license. So it was like, after I got my GED, I was able to start my driver's license course. And it's just one of those things where I'm glad I got to get my driver's license. You know what I'm saying? But it took a big old chunk out of the day. You know what I'm saying? Where I was just like, damn, man. I need to get this done. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad they had that to offer, because another thing about it is whenever we started driving on the driver's course, it was a chance to get your head out of the facility. You know what I mean? You get to float away a little bit into your imagination. You know, you turn the radio on, you know what I'm saying, whoever's in the vehicle with you, you all are chilling, you know what I'm saying, listening to the radio. And it's kind of like, you know, having your homeboy or your homegirl taking a ride with you around the corner or something like that. Even though, you know what I'm saying, we was on a flat top, driving around cones and painted stripes on the flat top, we all had a sense of, it's better than being in trade, or it's better than being in the academics buildings. You know what I'm saying? So we all gave each other respect, and we all, you know, kept the vibe going. Like I said, you know, it's like being able to drive while you're at Job Corps took a big relief. I mean, took a big chunk of that tension away, and it was a relief because you got to do something that you did on the streets. And you know what I'm saying? It is what it is too. If you like driving, then you'll know what I'm saying. It's kind of like being on the streets and you want to drive but you can't. Okay. See, I like taking the GED courses because, of course, females. Ha ha. You know what I mean? The females, you know. And like I say, when you're dressing, when you're wearing your clothes to get attention, you're in the perfect place because you got females there trying to do the same thing. And when you're walking around the classes, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're not in trade, so it kind of takes attention away from being in trade all day, and I don't know, like going to classes was a college feel. It was really like a college feel. You know how you go to, I ain't never been to college, but I could imagine whenever you're in college and you're walking around with your school books or your lessons or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying, back and forth to class, even though you're grown as fuck, you know what I'm saying? That's that type of feel right there. You still had a little high school feel because of the youngsters or the immature adults that was there, but for the most part, it had the college feel to it. Especially, when you walk in to it, it's like you usually went to your trade half the day and then you took your classes the other half. So for the morning, you go from breakfast to, the academic buildings, and then you have lunch, and then you go to your trade. So it's kind of like it took a lot of tension out of being in one part of the facility all day. Trust me, because whenever I graduated, whenever I got my GED and whenever I got my driver's license, it had to be in trade all day. Whew. Man, I used to go to the bathroom just to nap, just to get a nap, because it's like, man, you be in trade all day, it gets boring. It really got boring. But like I said, one of the toughest times that I had was whenever I was trying to graduate or trying to go to cooking school. You know what I'm saying? I finished the advanced culinary arts and I was just waiting to see if a spot would open up. Now during that time, my trade instructor was telling me to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Soak up some skills from him, things like that, and just be patient. But my patience wasn't as strong as it was when I first started. Yeah, I was really that tired of being there. And then, it's like when you give yourself a certain limited time of being in a certain place, and when that time comes and goes, it's really like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Or what the fuck are they doing? You know what I'm saying? By the time I was ready to graduate, you know what I'm saying, I had already been in student government. So that means that I had opportunities to do things that other kids, other people, other residents, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't do. Eating at these different functions, you know what I'm saying, being fed all this good ass food and getting fat and happy and shit like that. Or I remember I was part of the security board, which meant that, you know what I'm saying, I had to vote to keep people in, vote to keep people out, and then, you know what I'm saying, to see some of these same people out in the facility and looking at them like, you know what I'm saying, it's like, I ain't afraid of you, shit, you don't scare me, you know what I mean? Even though a couple of them was like on that level of, I'm gonna have to fight this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the same people that I thought I was gonna have to fight gave me mad respect. Because I was doing stuff that nobody else was doing. At the time, you know what I'm saying, nobody else wanted to go and work with the security office, the security board. You know what I'm saying? They had a hard time getting anybody to do the student part of the security board. So it was something else, you know what I mean? And meeting with the big heads, with the people over the instructors, you know what I'm saying? The facility managers, whatever the hell you want to call them. You know what I mean? I got experiences being at Job Corps. So once I got all that under my belt, I was ready to go. So it was a hard time for me being there whenever I was ready to go. It was like, it was a time where I had to wait to go to job orientation. Not job orientation, but voc rehab, job rehab or something like that, to where they show you how to, or they teach you how to fill out checkbooks and how to what do you call it? Fill out applications, and then they take you off the campus to some of the larger cities. So it's like one of the large cities that I went to was San Antonio, and we did a couple of benefits there. The advanced culinary arts students, and then I got to help out inside. I got to help out at this Japanese restaurant for a couple of weeks. So you get assigned to certain places for a couple of weeks to do your hands-on job, voc rehab, and that was alright, but it was limited time to do it, and I knew that it was time to go, man. But here it is, while you're doing that for culinary arts, or I guess anybody, while you're going out and getting that hands-on work, if you do a good job, they'll actually ask for you to, to come there whenever you graduate. So, you have a couple places where you can fill out an application and get it ready, to get it processed, or have them waiting for you whenever you graduate. But if you can't find, a workplace like that, then they give you the option to go to the military. And it's like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? While you're a Job Corps, you're already living in a military structure. You know what I'm saying? The times you gotta get up, times you gotta go to bed, you know what I'm saying? Dorm detail, doing dorm, you gotta clean up your dorm for inspections, you gotta clean up your rooms for inspections. The way we had, you had to make up your bed. You know what I'm saying? You had to fold your corners in a military way. You know what I'm saying? Your white sheet had to be folded over the green sheet. I mean, your white sheet had to be folded over your blanket. You know what I'm saying? In certain amount of inches from the head of the bed. So that, and then our pillows had to go at the foot of the bed. You know what I mean? So it was still a lot of military influence on the base. On the facility. So when you think about, damn, while you're trying to get out of Job Corps, it's like you either get a job in one of these places where you've done your hands-on experience, or you go into the military. It was kind of jacked up because, what happened to the third or fourth option? Third and fourth option being you fill in applications, or you get your family in the city or state that you're going to relocate back to. You know what I'm saying? If it's not in the city, hold on, let me play that. If you're not going to get a job in the surrounding area where you did your hands-on experience from, then you got to get people that live in other cities or states to send you applications of places that are hiring, and they got to go on the people that are hired. These jobs got to go on the idea of you're a Job Corps getting the trade, and you're going to come there with some type of experience. You know what I'm saying? So the chances of them hiring you is still slim. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a chance versus someone that they're hiring off the street. They're supposed to have good credentials, but most times, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't work out that way. They also look at people who come from Job Corps as, ex-cons, people, you know what I'm saying, who needed a chance in life in a bad way. You know what I mean? So it was something else. So going through the job orientation part, or voc rehab, whatever you call it, it was trying. Got on my nerves. You know what I mean? It was something I couldn't wait to be over and get done with. I liked the whole graduation bit. Graduating from Job Corps was another piece of college experience or high school experience that I didn't actually get to have by going to college or graduating from high school. So it was a very memorable thing. I didn't get to have any family come there while I was graduating, but I had some friends. It's like I met this one couple who worked on the facility. They let me and my girl come to their house for the weekend a couple of times. And I loved it, man. I loved it. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. But I liked it, you know what I'm saying? They came to my graduation and felt good about that, you know what I'm saying? At least I got to go there. What am I trying to say? At least I wasn't graduating with nobody there at all, rooting for me, you know what I'm saying? Whenever they called my name, you know what I'm saying, they whistled and clapped and things like that, you know what I mean? Along with other people, but I recognized them over the people there. I mean, there were other students there that was really genuinely happy, and by being in student government and other different parts of being involved with other parts of the facility, like I went to the pageant. I was part of the Job Corps pageants. I got 4th place, which was Mr. Congeniality. And I didn't tell that story, huh? Yeah. When I went to the pageant, my talent that I was going to do was to draw a painting, a picture, and read a poem at the same time. Well, the coordinator couldn't find the easel. So it was like, what am I going to do? What I ended up doing was, I didn't do the poem, but I walked on stage, sat down at the edge of it, took my shoes off, and talked to the audience in a manner of trying to get us to be involved with each other as far as being out on the facility, you know, being just regular residents, you know what I'm saying, you know, looking out for each other's well-being, you know, unity, trying to unify us, you know, at the time that I had to talk to everybody in the audience. You know what I mean? I got to talk from the point of view of being a student government and different things that we talked about and trying to unify each other and stuff like that. And so I got congeniality for being able to talk with people, you know what I'm saying, in the audience, things like that. So whenever I was graduating, there were instructors and people that was involved with the pageant that was at graduation as well. So whenever I was graduating, like I said, you know, got a couple whistles and a couple claps from folks that were genuinely happy for me. And, you know, the big picture of it all, like I say, whenever I got there, my focus was getting there, getting my trade, and getting the hell up out of there. And at graduation, that was the whole part of getting the hell up out of there, you know what I'm saying? So I was ready to move on, you know what I'm saying? I already made my selection of where I was going to go after graduation. I couldn't wait to get that started, you know what I'm saying? I'm an anxious person when it comes down to getting a plan going, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like going through the process of and taking the time to plan something out, and I like executing the plan, and I like whenever the plan actually works and I succeed at it. You know what I mean? So going to Job Corps for me was excellent. Now some other people get other experiences, but it was something wonderful for me. Like I said, I didn't go to college, but I got a lot of the college feel. I didn't get to graduate from high school, but I got that high school graduation feel. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to the social skills that you pick up from going to college or finishing high school, you know what I'm saying? And you have friends, you make friends, all those social skills, you know, I was able to get at Job Corps, and it helped me out, you know, later in life. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes down to being tactful, you know, being able to talk with people and getting things that I needed to get done, you know what I'm saying, as an adult. So anyway, it's like, if you're interested in Job Corps and you've watched this video all the way through and you watched the other 2 videos that I posted about Job Corps, then go there, get your shit, graduate, and become somebody. You know what I mean? It was like, while I was there, one of my favorite songs was from Goody Mob. What was it? You need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't let your time pass you by. You need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't spend all your time trying to get high. You know what I mean? If you look up that song from Goody Mob, you know what I'm saying? I forgot what it's from. I'll try to find it and put it in the link of the descriptions. But it's a great song to stay focused to when you try to do something in life. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna cut this video off right now. And like I say, with this playlist that I'm putting this on, it's gonna get testimony. You're gonna get testimonies from other people. There's gonna be a couple of facts, you know what I'm saying, news clips about Job Corps that's gonna show you the negative light, because you gotta have the negative light to balance off with the positive light. Because Job Corps is not easy in its own way. You know what I mean? It's still a test of character and a test of patience. You know what I mean? It's not that damn easy. You still gotta go through some shit to make it through Job Corps. So not only you gotta deal with bullying, but you gotta deal with your own attitude and personality. I mean, not only you gotta deal with haters, people trying to set you up for a downfall. You know what I mean? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You always got one finger pointing at other people. You got three fingers. Hold on. Would you mute that? Not only do you have like one finger pointing at other people, but you got three fingers pointing back at you at all times. So when you're trying to grow up in life, period, no matter if you're a Job Corps or if you're in the streets, you got rules to the game. You got rules to life that you gotta follow. It's like when your parents are trying to teach you something in life. Well, once you grow up and you get out your parents' house, you gotta be your own parent. You gotta parent yourself. If you're not mature enough to do that, then you gotta find motivation in somebody. Or, yeah, you gotta find it. You know what I'm saying? Because you have no excuse. Once you're on your own, you have to make it. You have to become successful in some kind of way. You don't have no excuses. Everybody's going to hold you accountable for whatever decisions you make. And when you're in Job Corps, you find out real quick that if you fuck up there, you lose out on the opportunity to become something that you wanted to be, or something that you was trying to be. You know what I mean? So for everybody that I know that went there and didn't graduate, they felt sick with their self because they missed out on the opportunity to become something that they wanted to be. So that's why, you know, it's kind of important for me to share my testimony, because it's kind of like, yo, I went there and I had a successful story from it. I know people that went there and didn't, and they felt, like I said, they felt sick. But I don't have to have that sick feeling because I was successful and I feel good with myself. So, yo, I'm trying to say, you know, life is good. You know, you just gotta make it. It's like in the other video, I was talking about this plaque that my parent had whenever I was growing up and I was learning how to read, and I thought it was like, you gotta make your own son's mind. You know what I'm saying? You gotta whoop that ass, make your kids mind you. But it really read, you gotta make your own sunshine. And it was like one of those things that stuck real close to me, real dear to my life growing up. You gotta make your own sunshine. You gotta motivate yourself. You can't sit back and let other people steer your life in the direction that they want you to go. You gotta be able to be your own master. You gotta be able to master skills for your own future. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be every piece of positive thing that you can be for yourself. It'll help out whenever you're dealing with other people. Other people are attracted to strong-natured people. Other people are attracted to people who motivate themselves. Some people are attracted to those to motivational people for negative reasons. They try to bring them down. But for the most part, people are leeches, are sponges. You know, they sponge off of strong, powerful people, negatively and positively. So it's like, who are you going to be in life? Who do you want to be in life? Job Corps can help you answer those questions. You just got to make sure you're successful. You got to make sure you got a healthy, successful mind to finish it. You know what I'm saying? To go through the bullshit, you know, put your bullshit aside and become somebody. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you are watching it, please like and leave a comment on it. Share it with other people and be a successful person to share your own opinion and help somebody else in the long run. You know what I mean? Alright, peace. I'm out.